Even alien soldiers won't accept challenging humanity's deadliest units. Yet among all the armies and empires, one name caused more fear than any weapon: humanity's frontline units. Alien commanders whispered about them, sharing old recordings and stories. The stories said that humans could fight even when ships were destroyed, supplies gone, and leaders killed. They said humans never surrendered, no matter the cost. To many aliens, it sounded impossible. No army could survive like that. On Earth, far away from the stars, Captain John Carter sat in the quiet of his ship's command room. The walls hummed with energy and lights blinked as the ship prepared for deployment. John was tall and strong, with dark hair and sharp green eyes. He had seen battles that could break most people, but he had survived. Next to him, Sergeant Lisa Morrow checked her team's gear. Lisa was shorter than John but fierce. Her hands moved quickly over weapons, repairing, cleaning, and checking everything. She had been in more battles than anyone on the ship, yet her face showed calm determination. "All units report ready," John said. His voice was steady, calm. He did not yell and he did not panic. That was his way. Soldiers listened because he was calm, even when danger was near. "Everyone check your weapons, check your shields, double-check your armor. We leave in 10 minutes. The crew moved like a well-oiled machine. Engineers monitored energy levels, medics checked supplies, and soldiers prepared their weapons. They were used to this routine. For them, leaving the safety of Earth for the unknown dangers of space was normal. It did not mean they were fearless. Fear existed, but it was controlled. They had learned to use it as focus. Fear kept them alert, alive, and ready. Far beyond the galaxy and the alien coalition, Officer Calrex studied recordings of humans. He was tall, blue-skinned, with sharp facial ridges and yellow eyes. He had never seen humans up close, yet he had heard the stories. He had studied their battles. In one recording, a human unit fought even after half of their fleet was destroyed. They boarded alien ships, rescued their wounded, and still kept fighting. Calrex shook his head. It made no sense. "They cannot be real," he said to his assistant. "No species can fight like this. It is impossible." But the recordings were real. He watched humans charge through fire, dodge explosions, and protect each other even when it cost them their own lives. The humans were not giant monsters. They were just ordinary beings, but their courage, teamwork, and determination made them deadly. Calrex felt a chill. His own soldiers had died facing weaker enemies. If these humans were as strong as the stories said, how could anyone stop them? Back on Earth, John and Lisa led their team onto the transport ships. The ships were small but fast, able to move in and out of dangerous zones quickly. John looked at the team. Each soldier's face showed readiness and focus. He spoke quietly. "We are not here to fight for glory. We are here to protect each other and complete the mission. Stay sharp. Trust each other." Lisa smiled at him. It was a small smile, but it carried confidence. "Don't worry, Captain. We've done this before. We'll do it again." The mission was simple in words: move into a conflict zone, secure a supply route, and return. In practice, it was never simple. Space was unpredictable. Enemy fleets appeared without warning. Asteroid fields could destroy ships. Radiation storms could scramble communications. Yet John and Lisa's unit had learned to expect the unexpected. That was their strength. While others relied on numbers or technology, humans relied on adaptability and teamwork. As the transport ships left Earth's atmosphere, John looked at the blue planet shrinking behind him. He felt a small pang of sadness. It was beautiful, fragile, and so easy to lose. Yet he did not dwell on it. The mission was coming and focus was needed. Lisa sat beside him, her eyes scanning the sensors. "All readings normal. No threats yet," she said. Hours passed in quiet tension. The stars moved past in streaks of light as the ships traveled at high speeds. Soldiers rested, trained, and prepared. John used the time to review mission plans. Lisa checked weapons and armor again. The routine brought calm. Each small task reminded them that they could control something, even in the vast, uncontrollable universe. Far from them, alien fleets moved toward the same sector. Calrex's fleet was large, with advanced ships and soldiers trained for battle. Yet despite the size and power, he felt uncertainty. The more he studied humans, the more he understood one thing: humans did not fight like anyone else. They could lose everything and still move forward. They could take pain, fear, and loss and turn it into focus and courage. Alien soldiers were trained to fear death, to avoid hopeless fights. Humans seemed to thrive in hopelessness. As John's ships approached the conflict zone, the first signs of danger appeared. Distant explosions lit the void. Debris floated in the cold darkness. Small enemy patrols moved in patterns meant to trap and destroy. John ordered the fleet to spread out, shields up, weapons ready. Lisa coordinated with squads, assigning roles and backup plans. "Remember," John said, "we move together, cover each other. No one fights alone." The first encounter was sudden. Small alien ships attacked, fast and precise. Human ships returned fire, using maneuvers that seemed impossible. John led one squadron through a narrow asteroid field to flank the enemies. Lisa commanded a defensive line, covering the weaker ships. Even when one ship was hit and disabled, the crew worked together to repair it while still fighting. Human soldiers climbed into escape pods to board enemy ships and fight hand-to-hand when weapons failed. Alien patrols were stunned. They had never seen anything like this. From his command ship, John watched his unit work as a single organism. Human soldiers were not just following orders. They were thinking, reacting, and helping each other instantly. One pilot risked his life to save a teammate trapped in a damaged ship. Another diverted power from weapons to shields at the exact moment it was needed. John felt a small surge of pride. Humans were not perfect, but together they were unstoppable. The battle grew more intense. Alien patrols tried to retreat, but human units anticipated moves, cutting off exits. Explosions shook ships, lights flickered, alarms blared. Yet the humans did not break. Injured soldiers continued fighting. When a medic was killed, another soldier took over without hesitation. Fear was everywhere, but so was courage. Lisa moved from one group to another, shouting orders, giving directions, healing wounds, and keeping morale high. Her energy seemed endless. Calrex observed from his distant fleet. His soldiers reported failures. They were trained to defeat enemies, yet the humans adapted faster than expected. Reports of bravery, of impossible rescues, of continued attacks despite loss, came in one after another. Some of his soldiers hesitated, refusing to fire. Fear had never touched them before, yet now it did. They were afraid of humans. Calrex frowned. He could not understand it. He had power, weapons, numbers. Yet the humans were something different, something dangerous. Hours passed. The first encounter ended with human victory, though not without losses. Ships were damaged, soldiers wounded, but the humans remained organized. They regrouped quickly, repaired, and prepared for whatever came next. John and Lisa walked the decks, checking on soldiers. "Good work," John said quietly. "You held your ground, you kept each other safe." Lisa nodded. "They won't forget this fight, they will learn fear." She looked at him with a small grin. "I think we have more stories to make the aliens afraid." John smiled faintly. He knew she was right. Humanity's reputation spread across the galaxy, but he also knew that fear alone was not the lesson. Humans fought because they could not stand by. They fought for each other. That was the true power. Numbers, weapons, and technology were tools. Courage, loyalty, and determination were the real weapons that made humanity deadly. As the fleet moved to a safe distance, stars streaking past at faster-than-light speed, John reflected on what had happened. He knew this was only the beginning. Aliens would study humans, they would try to understand them, but few could grasp the truth. Humans were not unbeatable by chance. They were unstoppable because they never stopped. No matter the pain, the loss, or the fear, they would keep moving forward. And in the cold darkness of space, that was something the galaxy had never seen before the humans. Victory against the alien patrols became more than just a battle. It became a warning that spread quietly across the galaxy. Alien leaders whispered about the human units, but one among them decided to test the stories personally. Officer Calrex was chosen to lead a strike force of elite alien soldiers to confront a single human strike group. He believed that superior technology, numbers, and training would crush any human unit. After all, humans were small and fragile compared to most species in the galaxy. He felt certain of victory. Back on Earth, Captain John Carter and Sergeant Lisa Morrow prepared their fleet for a new mission. Intelligence had reported the presence of an unknown alien fleet nearby. John studied the maps and sensor readings carefully. "We don't know who they are," he said, "but we will be ready." Lisa checked weapons again. "We always are," she said. Her voice carried confidence and her eyes scanned the crew. She noticed small signs of fear in new recruits, but she ignored it. Fear could be useful if it was controlled. Panic was dangerous. The human fleet moved quietly toward the sector where the aliens were reported. Every ship was on high alert. Soldiers practiced drills, engineers monitored energy levels, and medics checked the wounded from previous encounters. The humans were disciplined. Each person had a role, and each role was executed perfectly. For John, this was normal. For Lisa, it was impressive to see even new recruits step up and follow orders without hesitation. Far from them, Calrex's fleet approached. It was larger than the human force, with faster ships, more firepower, and soldiers trained for years to eliminate enemies. Yet as he studied reports of human victories, he felt unease. "They cannot be this strong," he muttered. "We have the advantage, they will fall." Yet he could not shake the feeling that humans were different. His soldiers noticed it too. Some spoke quietly of fear, of something beyond their understanding. The first contact happened without warning. Alien ships moved out of warp, surrounding a small human strike group. Their weapons fired simultaneously, creating bright streaks of light in the darkness of space. Explosions rocked human ships, alarms blared. Yet the humans did not panic. They did not scatter. John's squadron moved together as one. Shields activated, weapons returned fire, and the humans adapted instantly to the alien attack. John led a small group through a narrow passage in an asteroid field to flank the alien ships. The maneuver was dangerous, but he calculated the risk. Lisa coordinated the defensive line, directing fire, moving troops, and treating minor injuries on the spot. Human soldiers fought not only for themselves but for each other. When one ship was hit, another moved in to cover it. When a pilot was injured, a comrade took control immediately. Every move was precise and fast. Calrex observed the battle from his command ship. Reports from his troops were troubling. Alien soldiers expected humans to break, but they did not. Humans repaired ships under fire, rescued wounded, and even attacked when the situation seemed hopeless. His soldiers hesitated for the first time. Some refused orders, unwilling to face these humans head-on. Fear spread like a virus. The humans were not invincible, but their determination was terrifying. On the battlefield, chaos reigned. Explosions tore through ships, debris floated in the void, and the lights of distant stars flickered in the shadow of war. Human soldiers adapted quickly. When one fighter ship was destroyed, another moved to take its place. When weapons failed, humans boarded alien ships using makeshift tools. Hand-to-hand combat broke out in the corridors of damaged alien vessels. Alien soldiers were shocked. They had never experienced such aggression and resilience in an enemy. Lisa moved across the battlefield, coordinating small squads. She shouted orders, healed injuries, and inspired courage. "Cover each other," she yelled. "Don't let them divide us." Her words carried across comms, and human soldiers followed them without hesitation. Injured humans continued to fight. Medics worked under fire, saving lives while defending themselves. Every human action seemed to be calculated and instinctive at the same time. John piloted his ship close to an alien cruiser, analyzing weak points. He gave orders to board the ship. A small team moved in, using compact tools to breach the hull. They encountered alien soldiers, but the humans fought with courage, skill, and teamwork. Even when some were injured, they pressed on. The aliens could not stop them. Human adaptability was unmatched. Calrex grew frustrated. His soldiers reported heavy losses, confusion, and low morale. Humans had few numbers, yet they moved like a single organism. They did not fear death. They did not panic. They did not flee. The alien soldiers' confidence began to crumble. Some whispered to each other, asking if it was wise to continue. Others dropped their weapons and fled in small escape pods. It was unprecedented. Humans had changed the battlefield simply by being human. Back on the human side, John watched the alien retreat. "Keep formation," he said. "Don't let them regroup." Lisa checked the status of her squads. "We can hold them here if they return," she said. "But they will be afraid next time." Fear in the enemy was a tool humans knew how to use, not cruelly but strategically. They used it to protect their units and save lives. The battle ended with humans victorious, though not without cost. Ships were damaged, soldiers were wounded, but the fleet remained organized. John walked the decks, checking on each squad. "Good work," he said. "You stayed calm, you kept your team safe." Lisa nodded. "They won't forget this fight. They'll remember humans can't be stopped easily." Calrex's perspective changed after the fight. He had expected an easy victory, but instead faced something extraordinary. Humans were small, fragile, and ordinary by most measures. Yet their courage, adaptability, and loyalty made them deadly. He realized that no technology or training could predict how humans would respond under pressure. They improvised, fought, and endured when most others would surrender. As the fleet regrouped in a distant sector, John reflected on what had happened. He knew the battle would not be the last. Alien fleets would continue to test human strength, but humans would be ready. Courage, loyalty, and determination were the weapons that made humans unstoppable. Soldiers learned that fighting together was more important than strategy or numbers. They had seen the power of unity and endurance firsthand. Lisa joined him at the command room window, looking out at the stars. "They came to test us," she said, "and they found out humans are not easy to break." John nodded. "They will try again, but they will hesitate. Fear spreads faster than weapons." They both knew that humans' reputation had changed that day. Across the galaxy, stories would spread of small human units defeating elite alien soldiers. Human soldiers rested, trained, and repaired ships. Engineers worked tirelessly to restore energy systems. Medics treated the wounded, and soldiers shared quiet moments of camaraderie. New recruits watched and learned. They saw that humans could face impossible odds, yet remain calm and organized. They saw courage in action, not just in words. It was a lesson more powerful than any textbook. Far from the humans, Calrex and his officers debated what to do next. Some wanted to retreat and regroup. Some argued that humans were just lucky. Calrex disagreed. Humans were not lucky. They had skill, courage, and unity that no alien army had experienced before. Fighting them was not a simple task. He realized that many of his soldiers would refuse missions against humans in the future. The respect for humanity grew, and so did fear. As the human fleet prepared to return to base, John and Lisa spoke to their squads. "We did not win because we are stronger," John said. "We won because we never gave up, we stayed together, and we protected each other." Lisa added, "Remember this. It is not the weapons or the ships that make us deadly. It is our will, our courage, and our loyalty to one another." The soldiers listened and nodded. The journey back to safe space was quiet. Stars moved past as the humans traveled faster than light, leaving the battle zone behind. Soldiers slept, repaired equipment, or quietly talked about what had happened. John looked at the young pilots, remembering his first battles. Fear was normal, but courage came from choice. Humans chose to fight, endure, and protect each other, and that made all the difference. In the alien coalition, news of the battle spread quickly. Officer Calrex's reports shocked leaders across many planets. Humans were not just capable of fighting. They were unpredictable, relentless, and terrifying in their endurance. Alien soldiers debated, whispered, and feared. Many refused to participate in further attacks against humans. The message was clear. Humans were not just another species to defeat. They were a force that could not be challenged lightly. John and Lisa watched the stars fade as they approached their base. They knew the galaxy was dangerous and more battles would come. Yet humanity had proven its strength in a way few species could understand. Soldiers shared quiet smiles, proud of what they had accomplished. They had survived, adapted, and protected each other, and in doing so, had shown the galaxy the true power of human courage. The battle between humans and aliens had ended, but it was far from over. Officer Calrex returned to his fleet, shaken and unsure. His soldiers had seen humans fight in ways they had never imagined. Some of his most experienced warriors refused to go on missions against humans again. Their fear was real, and it spread quickly through the ranks. Yet Calrex knew he could not let the humans go unchallenged. He needed answers and a way to regain control. Back on Earth, Captain John Carter and Sergeant Lisa Morrow prepared their fleet for another mission. Intelligence reports had identified a small human strike group deep in enemy territory. The humans were expected to face a larger alien force. John studied the maps carefully. "We know they are coming," he said. "We must be ready." Lisa nodded. "We always are," she said, checking weapons, shields, and communication systems. Human soldiers were calm, focused, and determined. They had faced impossible odds before, and they would do it again. The human fleet moved silently through space, avoiding detection as much as possible. Small sensors picked up enemy movements, and the crew monitored every signal. Human pilots practiced maneuvers in the flight simulators, engineers repaired ships, and medics prepared medical kits. Soldiers worked together in perfect coordination. Teamwork was their strength, and they relied on it more than any weapon. John knew that courage and unity could overcome almost any enemy. Calrex's fleet advanced, moving in tight formation. He had brought more ships, more soldiers, and more weapons this time. He believed overwhelming force would finally crush the humans. Yet as he studied reports of previous encounters, he could not shake the fear that humans were different. His soldiers whispered about their last battle. Some refused to follow orders. Fear had never touched them before. Humans had changed that. The first contact was sudden. Alien ships appeared from warp, surrounding the human strike group. Weapons fired in bright streaks of energy, explosions rocked human ships, and alarms blared across the fleet. Yet the humans did not panic. John's squadron moved together as one, shields activated, and weapons returned fire with precision. Lisa coordinated defensive lines, directing squads to cover weak points and assist wounded soldiers. Humans fought for each other, not just for themselves. One human ship was damaged, engines failing, but the crew worked together to repair it under fire. Pilots maneuvered through debris fields, dodging enemy weapons. Medics moved across ships, treating injuries while maintaining defense. Even the smallest human actions were significant. Soldiers covered each other, improvised when tools failed, and never stopped moving forward. Alien soldiers noticed this adaptability and bravery. Their morale weakened. John led a boarding team to attack an alien cruiser. The humans faced heavy resistance, yet they fought relentlessly. When weapons failed, they used hand-to-hand combat. Wounded soldiers continued to fight. Every human action seemed calculated, instinctive, and courageous at the same time. Lisa moved from squad to squad, helping, directing, and encouraging soldiers. Her calm presence inspired them. Humans were fearless, not because they lacked fear, but because they controlled it. Calrex watched his fleet struggle. Alien soldiers reported heavy losses and confusion. Many refused to fight, unable to face the humans. Fear spread quickly. Human soldiers were small and fragile, yet they could not be stopped. Alien weapons could not break their will. Humans adapted, protected each other, and attacked relentlessly. Calrex realized that these humans were unlike any enemy he had ever faced. The battle dragged on. Alien ships were damaged and soldiers were injured, but the humans remained organized. John coordinated movements across the fleet, ensuring no soldier was left behind. Lisa treated injuries while keeping squads in formation. Every human acted with precision, bravery, and determination. Alien soldiers hesitated, unsure how to respond. They had never faced enemies like this. One alien cruiser attempted to retreat, but John anticipated the move. He ordered a squad to intercept it while another team blocked escape routes. The humans used teamwork and strategy, even when facing overwhelming odds. Injured soldiers continued to fight, medics saved lives under fire, and pilots executed risky maneuvers. The aliens were confused and afraid. Humans were not unbeatable, but their endurance and courage made them unstoppable. Calrex's perspective changed. He had expected humans to break, yet they did not. They adapted, they protected each other, and they never surrendered. Some of his soldiers refused orders and abandoned the fight. Fear of humans had taken root. Calrex realized that technology and training were not enough. Humans had something more powerful: willpower, loyalty, and determination. These traits made them deadly in ways aliens could not understand. John observed the battlefield calmly. Explosions rocked ships, debris floated in space, and lights flickered in the darkness. Yet his soldiers remained focused. He knew the human strength came from unity and courage. Soldiers covered each other, rescued the wounded, and adapted to any situation. They fought not for glory but for survival and duty. Lisa moved alongside him, directing squads and providing support. Humans were relentless. As the battle continued, alien soldiers began to retreat. Some abandoned weapons and fled in small pods. Calrex struggled to maintain control. His fleet had numbers, weapons, and experience, yet humans had something stronger. They fought with courage, loyalty, and determination. Alien soldiers whispered among themselves, sharing fear and doubt. Humans had changed the battlefield simply by existing. John and Lisa led their fleet in a coordinated advance. Damaged ships were repaired quickly, injured soldiers were treated, and weak points were reinforced. The humans used every tool and tactic available, but more importantly, they used teamwork and courage. Every soldier knew their role and acted with precision. Even the smallest action mattered. Alien soldiers realized that humans could not be predicted, stopped, or defeated easily. Finally, the alien fleet began to retreat in full. They had suffered heavy losses and lost morale. Calrex's soldiers were scared and confused. Humans had proven that courage and unity were more powerful than weapons or numbers. John and Lisa watched the retreating enemy, knowing the battle was won. Yet they also understood that this was only part of a larger war. Humans had shown their strength, but more challenges would come. Back on the human ships, soldiers repaired, rested, and shared moments of camaraderie. New recruits learned by watching veterans, seeing courage and teamwork in action. Engineers repaired ships, medics treated the wounded, and pilots trained for the next encounter. John and Lisa spoke to their squads. "We did not win because we are stronger," John said. "We won because we stayed together, protected each other, and never gave up." Lisa added, "Remember this. Our will, loyalty, and courage make us deadly." Far across the galaxy, news of the battle spread. Aliens whispered about humans, sharing stories of bravery, endurance, and relentless fighting. Officer Calrex's report shocked leaders. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and terrifying. Alien soldiers debated and feared facing humans again. Many refused missions against human units. Humanity's reputation grew, not just as fighters, but as an unstoppable force when pushed. John and Lisa watched the stars fade as their fleet traveled toward safe space. Soldiers rested, repaired equipment, and shared quiet words of encouragement. Humans had faced impossible odds and survived. They had shown courage, loyalty, and determination. The galaxy would remember their deeds. Humans were not invincible, but they were unstoppable when united. John reflected on the battle and its lessons. Humans fought not for glory, but for each other. Their strength came from willpower, courage, and unity. Lisa joined him, watching the stars. "They came to test us," she said, "and they learned humans cannot be stopped." John nodded. The message was clear. Humans would endure long after others surrendered. The galaxy had seen it, and aliens would never forget the humans' victory had left a deep impression across the galaxy. Alien fleets whispered the name of John Carter's unit, and Officer Calrex's confidence had been shaken. The aliens had expected an easy confrontation, but humans had proven that courage, adaptability, and teamwork were more powerful than numbers or technology. Yet the war was not over. The humans knew that more challenges were coming, and preparation was their strength. Back on their ships, Captain John Carter walked the decks, checking on soldiers and equipment. Wounded soldiers were being treated, engineers worked on repairing damaged ships, and pilots reviewed flight patterns. Each person moved with purpose. Fear existed, but it was controlled. Fear did not stop them, it sharpened focus. John knew that human strength was not only in fighting skills, but in the ability to stay calm under pressure. Sergeant Lisa Morrow moved alongside him, checking squads and coordinating logistics. She had a keen eye for weak points and potential dangers. "We need to prepare for another attack," she said. "They will not forget this defeat. They will send stronger forces." John nodded. "We will be ready." Humans never give up, and we never fight alone. Soldiers overheard this and felt reassurance. Unity gave them confidence. Far from Earth, Officer Calrex returned to his fleet. His soldiers were demoralized. Many refused to continue missions against humans. Some whispered among themselves, claiming humans were not to be challenged. Others demanded new strategies, hoping to find a weakness. Calrex studied humans carefully. He had seen courage, determination, and adaptability firsthand, yet he could not understand the source. Humans were not physically stronger, nor did they have superior technology. Their power came from something alien soldiers could not measure: willpower. Calrex ordered a meeting with his officers. "We have underestimated them," he said. "They are not like any enemy we have faced. Their strength comes from unity and courage. Do not challenge them directly." Some officers argued that humans could still be defeated with strategy, weapons, or numbers. Calrex disagreed. Humans adapted to any attack. They protected each other and never surrendered. The discussion ended with a warning. Alien fleets must avoid direct confrontation with human frontline units unless absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, the humans moved to a safer sector to regroup. John and Lisa reviewed data from previous battles. "They will try to test us again," John said. "We need to predict their moves and adapt faster." Lisa nodded, adjusting squad positions and assigning roles. "Humans win because we work together. Courage alone is not enough. Planning, trust, and unity make us deadly." Soldiers listened carefully. Every word reinforced their determination and trust in each other. As the fleet traveled through space, small incidents tested their readiness. Asteroid fields, debris from previous battles, and sensor malfunctions created tense moments. Human soldiers adapted quickly. Pilots changed flight paths instantly to avoid collisions. Engineers repaired shields in real time, and medics treated minor injuries while maintaining communication lines. Even small actions mattered. Every soldier understood that teamwork could make the difference between life and death. In one intense encounter, a small group of alien scouts tried to ambush the humans near a mining station. Explosions shook the fleet, but human soldiers remained calm. John ordered defensive positions, while Lisa directed counterattacks. Injured soldiers continued to fight, and medics treated them under fire. Human adaptability allowed them to turn a dangerous ambush into a controlled engagement. Alien scouts were surprised. Humans moved faster, coordinated better, and used terrain in space intelligently. The humans captured some alien scouts for interrogation. Calrex, learning of the capture, felt uneasy. He had underestimated human intelligence as well. Humans did not just fight with courage. They planned, adapted, and learned quickly. Captured aliens reported confusion, hesitation, and fear among their own soldiers. Humans were teaching aliens fear without raising a single weapon at first. The reputation of human units spread, creating a psychological advantage. Back on their ships, John and Lisa prepared for long-range missions. They planned strategies for potential attacks, simulated enemy tactics, and trained soldiers in adaptive combat techniques. Every drill reinforced teamwork, courage, and quick thinking. Soldiers practiced rescues, boarding actions, and defensive maneuvers under controlled chaos. Humans learned from every scenario, ready to face stronger fleets in the future. In the alien coalition, whispers turned into formal warnings. Calrex's report was circulated to all fleets. Humans were not invincible, but they were unstoppable when pushed. No direct assault should be undertaken without overwhelming advantage. Some alien soldiers refused orders, claiming that even if humans were few, they were too dangerous. Fear had become part of the strategy for dealing with humanity. Humans had altered the galaxy's understanding of war. Meanwhile, John reflected on the battles. Humans had survived impossible odds, adapted quickly, and protected each other at every step. Courage and unity were the real weapons. He shared these lessons with his soldiers. Strength is not in numbers or machines, he said. It is in loyalty, determination, and willpower. Fight together, protect each other, and you can face any challenge. Lisa added, humans win because we never give up. Even when hope seems lost, we keep moving forward. Soldiers nodded. Small skirmishes continued as humans tested the surrounding space. They found alien positions, repaired damaged routes, and helped local colonies rebuild. Every engagement reinforced teamwork and courage. New recruits learned not just to fight, but to survive, adapt, and protect their fellow soldiers. John and Lisa led by example, showing calm in chaos, courage under fire, and strategic thinking under pressure. Alien fleets grew cautious. Officer Calrex's warnings spread across star systems. Humans had changed the rules of engagement. No longer could aliens assume victory based on size, weapons, or training. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and adaptable. Some fleets refused orders outright, while others prepared with caution. Humanity had become a force that even advanced alien civilizations feared to challenge. John and Lisa walked together on the command deck, watching stars streak past. "The galaxy is learning about humans," Lisa said. "They will respect us and some will fear us." John nodded. "We do not fight to scare," he said. "We fight because we must protect each other and survive. That is our strength." Soldiers around them listened quietly. The lesson was clear. Unity and courage outweighed technology or numbers. Humans' reputation was not just for their victories, it was for the way they endured and adapted. As the fleet traveled toward a safe sector, small incidents tested readiness. Asteroids, rogue enemy ships, and sensor malfunctions created tense moments. Human soldiers adapted instantly. Pilots maneuvered precisely, engineers repaired systems, and medics treated injuries while coordinating defense. Every small action reinforced the importance of teamwork and courage. Human units functioned as one organism, moving in sync despite chaos. Far across the galaxy, alien fleets hesitated to attack. Officer Calrex debated with commanders, arguing that humans could not be underestimated. Reports of human courage, adaptability, and loyalty reached every fleet. Soldiers whispered about the dangers, some refusing missions outright. Humans had created a psychological advantage that changed galactic strategy. No alien army would challenge human frontline units without careful planning and fear of failure. John and Lisa debriefed their squads after each engagement. "Courage alone is not enough," John said. "We must plan, adapt, and protect each other." "That is what makes humans deadly," Lisa added. "Never forget, we survive because we fight together. No one stands alone." Soldiers nodded, internalizing the lesson. Every action, every decision reinforced their unity and determination. As the humans rested in safe space, they repaired ships, treated wounds, and trained for future encounters. Engineers worked tirelessly, medics tended to the injured, and soldiers practiced maneuvers. John and Lisa supervised, ensuring every detail was perfect. Humans had learned that preparation, teamwork, and courage were as important as weapons. They had survived impossible odds before, and they would do it again. Alien fleets continued to discuss the human threat. Officer Calrex's reports circulated widely, warning commanders that human units could not be challenged lightly. Some soldiers refused orders, claiming that even small human groups were dangerous. Fear and respect spread together. Humanity had proven that courage, loyalty, and unity could defeat even technologically superior enemies. Humans had become unstoppable not because they were invincible, but because they never stopped fighting. John and Lisa observed the stars, knowing the galaxy was changing. Humans had earned a reputation, not through fear or conquest, but through courage, adaptability, and unity. They had survived impossible battles, protected each other, and proved their strength. Across the galaxy, aliens would think twice before challenging human units. Humans had shown that their greatest weapon was not technology, ships, or numbers. It was willpower, courage, and loyalty. The war had changed the galaxy. But John Carter and Lisa Morrow knew the humans' journey was not yet over. Alien fleets whispered their names with fear and respect. The humans had survived impossible battles, adapted faster than any enemy could predict, and protected each other at every turn. Their courage and unity had made them deadly, and the galaxy had taken notice. Yet for John and Lisa, survival and duty were more important than reputation. The human fleet moved through space toward a sector with damaged colonies. Engineers repaired ships, medics treated the wounded, and soldiers trained in preparation for future threats. Every action was purposeful. John watched the crew work with quiet pride. Humans had endured, but endurance alone was not enough. They had to continue learning, adapting, and protecting each other. Lisa moved alongside him, checking squads and encouraging soldiers. Small incidents tested their readiness. Rogue enemy ships appeared near supply routes, while asteroid clusters threatened navigation. Human pilots maneuvered through dangerous zones with precision. Engineers repaired shields under pressure. Medics treated injuries while coordinating defense. Every soldier's action mattered. The fleet moved as one organism. Unity, courage, and trust were their weapons. Far across the galaxy, Officer Calrex and alien commanders debated human strength. Reports of victories, endurance, and adaptability reached every fleet. Soldiers whispered in fear, some refusing orders outright. Humans had proven they could not be underestimated. No alien strategy or weapon could predict their behavior. Humans, unpredictability, courage, and loyalty had created a psychological advantage that spread faster than any rumor. The humans encountered a small alien blockade near a mining colony. Explosions lit the void as enemy weapons fired. Alarms blared across human ships. Yet soldiers did not panic. John's squadron moved with precision. Shields activated, weapons returned fire, and squads coordinated attacks. Lisa directed defense lines, ensuring no soldier was left unprotected. Human courage shone through fear. They adapted instantly, turning dangerous situations into opportunities. One alien ship attempted to escape, but John anticipated the move. A squad intercepted it, boarding the vessel with courage and skill. Injured soldiers continued fighting. Medics treated wounds under fire. Every human action was purposeful. Alien soldiers hesitated. Humans, loyalty and adaptability made them unpredictable and unstoppable. Fear spread among alien ranks. Even experienced soldiers questioned whether they could face humans again. After the skirmish, humans helped the mining colony repair damage. Engineers restored energy systems, medics treated civilians, and soldiers trained locals in defensive tactics. Humanity's influence grew not through conquest, but through protection and leadership. John and Lisa supervised, ensuring each action strengthened the fleet and reinforced the values of courage, unity, and adaptability. Alien fleets continued to debate strategies. Officer Calrex's warning spread across star systems. Humans were not invincible, but they were unstoppable when pushed. Soldiers refused missions. Fleets hesitated. Humans had changed the galaxy's understanding of war. Courage, loyalty, and unity could outweigh numbers, technology, or strategy. Humans had become an example of endurance that others could neither predict nor match. As the fleet rested in a safe sector, John addressed his soldiers. "Remember," he said, "our strength is not in ships or weapons. It is in our courage, loyalty, and unity. We fight for each other. We survive because we never give up." Lisa added, "Every small action matters. Every choice to protect each other makes us stronger. Humans win because we fight together." Soldiers nodded, internalizing the lesson. They had seen courage in action and understood its power. Small skirmishes continued across nearby sectors. Humans repaired supply routes, defended colonies, and tested enemy strategies. Every engagement reinforced lessons of adaptability, teamwork, and courage. Soldiers learned to make quick decisions, protect comrades, and adapt to chaos. Human units moved as a single organism, responding faster than enemies could predict. The galaxy witnessed their deadly efficiency. Far from humans, alien fleets grew cautious. Officer Calrex debated strategies with commanders. Some soldiers refused orders. Fear and respect for humans spread. Humanity's reputation became a strategic factor. No fleet dared challenge a human unit lightly. Humans had proven that courage, unity, and loyalty could turn impossible odds into victories. Even when outnumbered or outgunned, human units survived and adapted. John and Lisa reflected on the lessons of war. Humans had survived impossible battles, protected each other, and adapted in ways no enemy could predict. Courage and unity had become more powerful than weapons or numbers. They had endured when others would have surrendered. Humanity's strength lay not in technology, but in willpower, loyalty, and determination. As the fleet traveled through safe sectors, engineers repaired ships, medics treated wounds, and soldiers trained in anticipation of new threats. Every detail mattered. Human units were prepared for whatever challenges awaited. John and Lisa supervised, ensuring every soldier understood their role, the importance of teamwork, and the power of courage. Aliens continued to spread fear of humans across star systems. Officer Calrex's reports warned that human units could not be challenged lightly. Soldiers refused missions, fleets hesitated, and strategies were reconsidered. Humanity had changed the rules of engagement. Courage, loyalty, and unity had become lethal weapons. The galaxy respected humans not because of power alone, but because humans would never stop when pushed. One day, as the fleet rested, John and Lisa walked together on the command deck, watching stars streak past. "The galaxy is learning about humans," Lisa said. "Some respect us and some fear us," John nodded. "We do not fight to scare. We fight because we must survive and protect each other. That is our strength." Soldiers around them listened quietly. The lesson was clear. Unity and courage outweighed technology or numbers. Humans' reputation was not just for victories, it was for how they endured and adapted. Small events continued to test readiness. Rogue ships appeared, sensors failed, and asteroid clusters threatened navigation. Human soldiers adapted instantly. Pilots maneuvered through hazards, engineers repaired shields under pressure, and medics treated injuries while coordinating defense. Every action reinforced teamwork, courage, and trust. Human units functioned as one organism, moving together despite chaos. Alien fleets hesitated to attack. Officer Calrex debated with commanders, insisting humans could not be underestimated. Soldiers whispered about the dangers, and some refused orders. Humans had created a psychological advantage that changed galactic strategy. No alien army would challenge human units without careful planning and fear of failure. Courage, unity, and adaptability had become humans' greatest weapons. John and Lisa supervised training for long-term missions. Soldiers practiced rescues, boarding actions, and defensive maneuvers under simulated chaos. Every scenario strengthened teamwork, loyalty, and quick decision-making. Humans learned from every experience, prepared for any challenge. Engineers repaired ships, medics treated injuries, and pilots refined maneuvers. The fleet became stronger, more coordinated, and ready for anything. The galaxy had changed. Humans had survived impossible battles, adapted faster than any enemy could predict, and protected each other at every step. Aliens whispered their names with fear and respect. Officer Calrex warned fleets to avoid human units unless absolutely necessary. Humanity had proven that courage, unity, and loyalty could defeat even technologically superior enemies. Humans were unstoppable not because they were invincible, but because they would never stop fighting. John and Lisa watched the stars fade as the fleet traveled to safe space. Soldiers rested, repaired ships, and prepared for future battles. Humans had shown courage in action, loyalty in practice, and adaptability in chaos. The galaxy had seen their strength, and alien forces would think twice before challenging human units. Humans had endured, survived, and conquered fear itself. Their legend had begun. In quiet moments, John and Lisa reflected on what had happened. Humans had not won through weapons or numbers, but through willpower, courage, and loyalty. They had protected each other, adapted to chaos, and survived impossible odds. Across the galaxy, humans were now respected and feared, not for conquest, but for their endurance and unity. They were unstoppable when pushed, and that was humanity's greatest strength.